As we get closer and closer to a new Stargate franchise, hopefully, we have to start thinking about some of the big questions that this new show, assuming it's a continuation, will have to answer. And for me, this might be the biggest. Is the Stargate still a secret or not? Welcome to SciTrek, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. So, the Stargate program. Is it still a military secret kept from the public, or does everybody know about it? Now, this is a big question. Now, we do know what Brad Wright was planning for this when he was preparing his script for the pilot episode. Oh, God, well over 2 years ago now. He was going to make the Stargate program known to the public, so everybody knew. But what are the pros and cons of that? Should it be a secret or should it be known to the public? Right, well, let's first of all think about should it be a secret? First of all, I've said this loads and loads of times on this channel. I want Stargate, I don't want Star Trek when it returns. And by that I mean Stargate and Star Trek are different. In the Star Trek universe, obviously it's a utopian future. It's lots of spaceships, lots of zipping around, lots of very high-end technology. They still have challenging storylines, but the technology in the sci-fi is in a different universe to what we know. In Stargate, it was always chained to reality. It could be happening. We could actually live in a world where Stargate was a reality and that teams really were going off to all these different planets. But by the end of SG1 and SGA, actually the Tauri were very powerful. We had some of the baddest spaceships in the universe. We were flying around kicking everyone's ass. We had some of the most advanced weapons and shields, and all of that beautiful technology from the Asgard to exploit. We were, technologically speaking, virtually as advanced as the Asgard, or at very least, have the information we need to become as advanced. So we were touching on sort of Star Trek levels of technology. Now, that means that any new franchise is going to have to carry on from that point. And it means that it's going to feel a lot more like space-based sci-fi than the Stargate series we were used to. But we have actually had that in Stargate. Stargate Atlantis was space-based sci-fi, and we still loved it. Stargate Universe was obviously space-based sci-fi, and even though that's a little bit of a Marmite series, people either love it. I mean, some people genuinely think Stargate Universe is the best of the Stargates, or they're not so keen. I'm on the, it was a bit boring, but it was getting better side of that fence. SG1 is my favorite. But SGU was space-based sci-fi, very much like what we're going to see probably in a new franchise. But obviously, the new franchise can still go through the gate, etc. Could still be based around a team. But how do you keep that element of reality if the Tauri are so advanced and so powerful? I remember those rumors about how there was apparently a store cupboard at NORAD and it said Stargate Command on it because somebody loved the show so much and knew that it was based in reality. So they, mocked up that little sign. I don't know if that's true or not. I hope it is. But that is, one of those little signs of how well loved this show was and why one of the reasons was for it to be so loved. It was because it was based in reality. And if they diverge from that, they're going to have to be very careful that it still feels like the Stargate we love. But how about if it was not a secret? Well, to be honest, because of everything I've just said, it makes total sense that they would have to at some point release this to the public and to tell the public what's happening. For example, think about all of the technology that we've amassed. Nakoda power reactors, shield technology, transporter technology. We have the technology to matter replicate now, thanks to the Asgard. And we have all of this technology that could solve all or most of the problems we have on Earth. We are giving Nakoda reactors to people that not on the Earth, humans on different planets, colonies all over the universe. We're giving Naquadah reactors to people, but we don't give them to us. We are still using coal and burning fossil fuels when all of this technology is available. We are still killing our planet, polluting our planet, even though we have this technology. It doesn't make any logical sense that the government would do that. Now, it did make sense initially under SG1, but by the end of SG1 and the beginning of SG Universe, most of the planet's governments knew about the Stargate program. Look at how many different nations were represented in the SGU and actually also the Atlantis expeditions. Germany, England, Russia, China, on and on and on. Most of the governments knew. Now, that takes me on to my second point. Most of the governments knew, and governments are really bad at keeping secrets. Now, America keeping a relatively small secret like the Stargate program with only a couple of hundred people working at the SGC going through gates. Okay. By the end of SG1, when the planet had been attacked several times, we were starting to sort of go, really? They've kept this a secret still? Really? They actually played on that in a few Stargate episodes where, it was going to get leaked.
Prepare for an extreme adventure.
I think the writers, Brad Wright, Robert Cooper, Malozzi, so on and so on, were starting to realize, actually, this is ridiculous that this is still a secret. And as I said, in several episodes, they played up to that silliness.
4 excellent heroes in an extraordinary new sci-fi series, starring Nick Marlowe as the Rye, Colonel Danny.
As a matter of fact, it does say Colonel on my uniform.
It doesn't make sense that we would have all of this technology and not use it. It doesn't make sense that all of these governments know the secret and it's still kept a secret. And again, it doesn't make sense that we would share that technology with other races, but not our own. So it is only logical for the Stargate program to be public knowledge.
Extreme, coming this fall, only on...
Well, that looked familiar. I don't see it.
The other thing is, though, and this is my final point, it's what Brad Wright wants. And I don't think whoever creates the new Stargate series, whether that be Penguin and Parker, Mark Fergus, or if they scrap the whole thing and just go back to Brad Wright was the co-creator of this series. He is Stargate as far as I'm concerned, and he has let it known that in his script it was public knowledge. And I think if it's what Brad Wright wants, then maybe it's what Brad Wright should get. That means for me that the Stargate program has got to be public knowledge. And to be honest as well, it doesn't really change the show a great deal. It'll make a couple interesting episodes where we get to find out how it was made public knowledge and how humanity reacted to that. It'll be interesting to see what we then do with the technology, but it'll only be little snippets. It'll be, maybe a couple of little episodes where it'll get mentioned, but it won't be actually a big thing for the actual plots of anything moving forwards. Imagine the end of SG1, the last couple of seasons. If they'd have written in that they become public knowledge, would it have actually changed anything that happened in those episodes? Not really. So I have to say, as long as it's done cleverly, it doesn't have to change anything. And any show that we get would actually still be the same, but in some ways, it would still be logical and still grounded in reality, because if Stargate Command was a reality, it would eventually have to become public knowledge. That is a secret they could never keep for that long. So it is only logical and only realistic that the Stargate Command would have to become public knowledge. But guys, while I was doing the live video the other day, I did do a poll. And I asked you, lovely people, what did you think? Should this be a secret still, or should it be public knowledge? And it's been running for just over a week now, so let's have a look. And the answers is new Stargate series. Should Stargate still be a secret? Still a secret, 61%. Known to by the general public, 39%. That had 797 votes. So, you guys want it to still be a secret. But, as I've argued, does that really make sense? Get in the comments though, guys, and tell me, have I changed your mind at all, or do you still think it should be a secret if that's how you voted? And how do you actually think they should announce it if they do? How should we see that? Should it be something that's happened in the last 10 years since Stargate SGU ended? Or should it be something that happens as part of the new series or a movie? Get into the comments and tell me exactly what you're thinking. If you are new to the channel, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. It really helps us out. And you can always go on to Patreon, where we put most of our videos on first. And for a small fee each month, you can get to see them before everybody else on YouTube and without the adverts. As always, please stay safe, and I'll see you next time.